Greetings, Royal. It's Duchess DJ Love, host of Gallivanting Like A Royal. As you can tell, these allergies are still bothering me. It's been a week now. I feel much better. I don't know if you can tell by the sound, but uh, allergies are just messing with me. But then again, that has been my story of 2023. I have been sick pretty much most of this year. So I'm beginning to wonder if doing these shows, maybe if I give them up, I'll be well for a while. Hey, I love to travel, so I'm not enjoying being sick. But thank you for joining tonight. I really appreciate it. We're going to talk about Greece. Of course, I just returned last week, and I had a fabulous time, must say. It was beautiful. However, tip number one, do not go to Greece in July or August. It is way too hot. However, if you have to go during that time, get up early in the morning to see sights or go late in the evenings, take a nap during the heat of the day. The temperatures were tough. I felt like I was still in Texas, and that's hot. But just to get you going a little bit with Greece, warm you up a little bit. Thank you for joining tonight. I have a little quick video to kind of, get you into the mood of what we're going to be talking about, my Greece tips. So here we go. Okay, I'm back with you here. Okay, so let me give you a few quick tips before I forget again. These allergies are messing with me, and we'll probably do shows on Greece for the next month because I have so much planned for you. Since I've been under the weather this whole week, I haven't got my videos, my photos together for you the way that I want to show them. I do have a short presentation for you tonight just to kind of give you an idea of what to expect in the coming month of what we're going to show about Greece and my Norwegian cruise on Jade, where I got to go to the Greek Isles and see Turkey. So that's some of the things I'm going to be sharing with you. Also, whenever you travel overseas, pack patience, expect delays, know your surroundings, be aware of pickpocketers. Everywhere you go, you're gonna have these things. So just be on the lookout. Be safe. Be smart. Travel wise, and wander freely. That's what I say. So I'm gonna show. Let me see if I can show you my little presentation real quick. Okay, here we go. Gallivanting Like a Royal, me, Duchess DJ Love, where we discuss travel inspiration and how to live a royal lifestyle. And tonight's episode is on Greece tips. And as you can see, I was having some fun. I kind of got on the little, what you call these things. But anyway, just kind of keep the sun off of you. So I'm wearing it tonight in honor of Greece. And for me, I flew out of Charlotte and I had to go through JFK to get to Athens. And I didn't know when you got to JFK, they had this huge, Big Apple with Welcome to New York, which I thought was kind of cool. I'm always looking for something to strike a pose with. And this was one of those photo ops that, hey, got to do when you're in an airport. You got to find some way to pass the time. Of course, I went to the business lounge because I have priority access and status. So that always helps out. But in the meantime, I like to wander around the airports to see what all they have because they do have a lot of art. Usually you can find something, as I call it, entertaining. I like the monorails and they call them the Skylinks, whatever. I call those my amusement rides. So, you just have to find ways to make it fun. And here I am. I was on business class with American Airlines. And you might be wondering, wow, it probably costs a lot. Well, if you're a smart traveler like I am, you will find ways to travel on a dime, as I call it. Um, and again, it goes back to my Money Matters book that I talk about occasionally. That's coming out soon. I just haven't had time to work on it. But what I mean by that is I make my money work for me, like my credit card. Everything I can put on my credit card, I put on my credit card. However, I'm financially responsible. I pay it all off at the end of the month. I do not believe in interest and do not believe in having any extra charges on my card. So I'm financially responsible with what I charge on my card. However, my card gives me all these loyalty points that I can use. Well, I happen to be smart and wise again with how I utilize these things. When you're going somewhere or another, you want to be fresh and relaxed. So I use my miles to give me a first class ticket over to Athens. Coming back, paid for a regular old coach. Hey, it wasn't so bad. I had the extra leg room at the bulkhead, so I had really good seats. So still, it wasn't bad. But going over, I wanted to be fully relaxed. So when I start my adventure, that I'm, fresh, ready to go, energized. So that's what I did. So again, you can use your miles and you can buy the return ticket. And you know what? It's not that expensive. Because the later date is going to be cheaper because it's further out anyway. I always suggest booking your international flights 3 months in advance. And if you're flying domestically, at least 21 days in advance for the best deal. And use all those apps that's out there too to find out the best price. Like Hopper, I like Hopper. That's one of the ones I go to check a lot. Again, you can see me handing my champagne, showing off my book, Travel To, showing off my space, where I'm sitting at. It's kind of cool. I really enjoyed it. I felt like I was royal. Now, my Athens trips, it was 10-hour flights going. I had a 7-night cruise on Norwegian Jade. There are 5 ports of call. We went to Istanbul, Kusadasi, Mykonos, Rhodes, and Santorini. I must say, Rhodes was my favorite Greek island to visit. Istanbul, I just loved. I would like to go back there and spend about a week. So that's probably coming. And I think I spent 4, maybe 5 days in Athens. And while in Athens, I did stay in 2 unique hotels. One was the Athens Gate Hotel, and the other was the Royal Olympic Hotel. Of course, you had to have some royal in there. And here's me at the Parthenon, striking some poses, which was a hike to get up there. And it was hot. Let me tell you, it was Texas hot. But still, you get out early in the morning to go. Oh, and Magical Encounters just so happens that we were there early, right when it opened, and already there was a line of people. And I was telling my friend, I said, oh God, I don't want to have to wait in that long line to get our ticket. And then it'll take us forever, to get up to the top waiting through the admission. Sure enough, this lady walks in. She goes, hey, I'm a tour guide. Would you like to be in my tour? I can get you through the gate right now. I'm like, sure, yes. And originally it was going to be like 45 euros. I think it's like 20 euros just to get in for the admission. And, didn't pay her a little extra for the tour. But once she got us through the gate, all she wanted was the 20 euros to, get in. So, hey, we paid her for that and we were on our way. Didn't have to wait no long line. See, highly favored people, this is what happens. You got to have that love attitude and it will find you. Now, this is the Athens Gate Hotel. And the reason I took this photo, and you can tell with my camera lens, I like to show my camera lens off when I take it. That's kind of like the shadow guard. To me, it just gives a little dimension to the photos. But when I first saw Athens Gate, I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to stay here. From the outside, it didn't look all that fancy. However, once you get on the inside, it is gorgeous and very, very chic. Oh, and on the very top, you can see that's where the restaurant is, that bar where you can, have awesome views of the Temple of Zeus and the Acropolis. And of course, I was at the top corner over here with my suite. So yes, I was I was, living it up a little bit. Had great views. And this one here you can't really see, but this is the Royal Olympic Hotel where I also stayed at. And this is where the Empress Royal Retreat will be at in late October, early November. And they also have a rooftop bar restaurant where you can go sit and get phenomenal views as well. The Royal Olympic is a little bit bigger. I think they hold 250 rooms, where the Athens Gate maybe holds, let's say, 100. I prefer Athens Gate because it's not so full of people. I mean, both of them will store your luggage. So if you arrive early, going overseas, make sure that the hotels you're staying at will store your luggage for you. You don't have to worry about lugging it around. So they both were great. I actually prefer the Athens Gate after staying there. The Royal Olympic, again, was royally nice. It was just too busy for me, too many people. We had to wait like an hour in line to get checked into our room. And then checkout was probably about 30 minutes. Again, when you got a lot of people in and out, you have to expect those things. And then Athens Gate, I didn't really have to wait. I think maybe 5 minutes tops. They took all my information and they told me to be back at whatever time that they would let me check in. And then again, simple. I already had my luggage in my room waiting on me, streamlined. So I really like that. And again, some of my fabulous photos I took just walking around the city of Athens, the Parthenon. And this is looking out at Athens from the top. And this is the Temple of Zeus entrance, which my hotel was right across from it. So, I had a bird's eye view. And the reason I took this photo of the streets is graffiti. And not so much in a negative way, but in Athens, you'll see graffiti everywhere. They're very artistic. They're showing off their artwork and their expression. They're expressing themselves. I didn't feel unsafe in any way. Everywhere I went, I felt relatively safe. Did experience someone trying to pick my pocket, trying to take my purse or slip and get into it, whatever you want to call it. But again, I was fast on that. I had wear it in the front with a jacket over it like this, so it's kind of hard for someone to pick my purse. But just be aware when you're traveling. Again, this is another view of the Temple of Zeus, the entrance to it. And right in the background here is Hadrian's Library. The Hard Rock Cafe is over to the right behind the buildings, and you get a good view from there. And this is where the market's at, where you can go get some really good deals. I don't remember the name of the market. I'll have that for you in a later video or session. Also, it'll be in my blog. I'm going to post all these tips and notes into my blog too, so everyone can read them and soak them in, because my voice is a little scratchy tonight, so you probably, I have a southern voice anyway, so you're probably having a hard time understanding me, but thank you for watching and following me. And again, I enjoyed the hop on, hop off buses. Day one when we arrived, again, we stored our luggage with the hotel, and it's like, what do we do? I hadn't really prepared for this trip. I'm really good at preparing, having everything lined up, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, what times everything's open. But this trip happened rather suddenly, so I didn't have that opportunity. Bear with me for just a minute. I had to cough. Evening Royals. Welcome to Gallivanting Like a Royal, and I'm your host, Duchess DJ Love. Thank you for joining tonight. I have a special royal episode for you tonight. Sorry about that, Royals. Woo. Again, these allergies are really bothering me. So I'm going to show a quick video and give me a moment to adjust.
further ado, the travel queen herself, Duchess DJ Love. Woo!
Hello, everyone. Thank you.
Welcome to Come Back with Jazz. How you doing?
Doing okay on this Friday. And
That's
I'm glad we got some royal viewers watching today. Yay!
Yeah. The celebrity viewers.
That's it, celebrity viewers. I like that.
Yeah, so I know I introduced you, but would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Duchess DJ Love, Gallivanting Like a Royal. That is my platform to share love everywhere I go, and my passion is traveling, and that's what it encompasses. Whenever I go somewhere, I want to share love with the people that I encounter. I travel frequently, so what can I do to make someone else's life better? Share a little love. Mm-hmm. So, want someone to smile. They may look at me and think you look tacky. They may think you look cute. They may think I forgot February 14th. Valentine's Day's already gone, but they will laugh. Hopefully they will smile. It'll take their worries off themselves and, just brighten up the day a little bit because, we have hectic lives sometimes, and I just want to be a bright spot in someone's life.
Wow. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your introduction. And for those of you who haven't connected with Duchess yet, please do go around her profile and send her a friend's request because she is absolutely amazing. She reminds me of Rihan Alawala with her perspective and her views. It's really amazing. So anyways, the topic today is traveling, which is Duchess' passion, which works out. And I have some questions to ask her. And the first question is, why do you think traveling is so important?
I think we get stuck in our little worlds and our little routine, and we don't venture out. And my thing is, you need to get outside of your box because it's all up here. We think in our heads, we live in our heads most of the time. So if we go somewhere new, we experience new things that opens us up. My quote is, traveling opens doors that you didn't know needed opening. And what that means is if you go somewhere foreign or somewhere out of your comfort zone, you learn something. You gain a new perspective. You may see someone in a different light. You may see something that, like a light bulb goes off. Oh, I can do that. Or, I can be a better person. Or, creation comes from when you travel. And that's my thing. You bring out the creativity and you see the world in a whole new perspective. And to me, traveling is the best education you can get. I mean, you got to spread your wings and fly a little bit and just see what's out there. You'll see that the world's a bigger place than you are.
Yes, I agree with that. Thank you very much for your answer. Okay, so next question for you is, what are some of your favorite destinations?
Oh, I love the national parks. I would have to say that Yellowstone National Park is my favorite. I like to go towards the end of May, early June, or either like now, late September, early October. And the reason being, you miss the crowds and the animals are out in nature. They're out doing their thing. Either they're coming out of hibernation or they're going into it. So this is their time of year when they're doing their thing. And I like to be around animals and nature because, again, you get perspective. You get to look at how they go about life. They don't worry, do the hair look good? They're not worrying, have I gained too much weight? They're just all about what's in the present moment. And that's what we should be. Let's take some more of that present moment into our lives and appreciate what we have right now. Because now is all we have. We can't do anything about what happened yesterday. We can't really do a whole lot about what's going to happen tomorrow because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We can plan and prepare, which I advise everybody to do. Preparation is important because when opportunity comes, you better be ready to answer it. So, right. Yeah. And I like Olympic National Park because Olympic National Park up in Washington State is probably the coolest one that we have because it has different ecosystems. You have the rainforest, you have the mountains, you have the tropical areas, you have the beach. I mean, Hurricane Ridge is great to go hiking. So, and you get views of Canada, Victoria across the way. So,
wow. Thank you very much. So, next question for you is your travel for business or leisure, or is it both?
That's a good question, Jasmine, because a lot of people think that I travel because my job pays for it, but that's not the case. I would say 98% of my traveling is personal. Therefore, I have to have money to go places. And that's one of the things I like to tell people is you can travel on a budget. You just need to know how. And in my book, Travel To, I have some of those trip tips listed in here with some inspiration, some quotes, and some reflections, some things to think about when you're planning a good trip and a vacation, what to expect. So that's personal was mine because, again, since I've been a child, I wanted to see the world. I grew up in a very rural, small town in South Carolina, and I knew there was something bigger out there than my little small community. So that's what I ask for my birthday present every year. Please take me somewhere. I don't care if it's the next town. Just take me on a vacay. And so my parents would save up all year long to take me on a trip for my birthday. That's how Christmas in July began for me. So everybody knows that my birthday, we call it Christmas in July because that's when I'm special and I get to travel. My travel, for me, it's my gift.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, fantastic. So you kind of showed us your new book. So please tell us about your newly released book, Traveltude, which has just been published and released to the audience.
That's correct. Traveltude is on Amazon.com. Also, you can find Duchess DJ Love in Amazon Author Central, so you can learn a little bit about me and see some more photos of me and get to know me. My book is a 30-day trip tips gratitude devotional. I'm working on the 365-day one. However, I've been invited to speak at a conference next month, so I had to have something completed, to show. Got to have something. So I went ahead and published the first 30 days. And I think it's interesting because you get photos, you get quotes, you get inspiration, you get a place for reflection. I give you some trip tips to think about. And you also get some highlights to my other books that are coming out in the series. So this book has got a lot of bonus features.
Uh-huh. So how can people buy your book?
They can go to Amazon.com and either type in search for Traveltude, or search for Duchess DJ Love, or go to Amazon Author Central and get Duchess DJ Love, and you can just click on it and add it to the cart, and it's yours, and it can be delivered to you, I think, the next day if you want to pay for that shipping, and then it's just a couple of days for regular shipping.
Right. So, guys, I encourage you to buy her book so that way you can learn more about traveling, and I am going to buy your book too so I can read it.
And see, I even got a thing on budget to show you how to save some money. So there's some handy tips in here that I think people can benefit from.
Mm-hmm. So last question for you before we head on to the second segment, the surprise segment.
Yes. I like surprises.
Would you share some travel tips for the audience?
Oh, yes. Things were really easy to travel before COVID. Mm-hmm. Now, if you rent a car, that can be a hassle. They are really strict on renting cars because they don't have many to rent out. I advise you to book it in advance. Most of the time, they make you prepay now. So, it's kind of good to plan the budget or how much you want to spend on a trip. That way, you'll kind of know if you're getting a good deal on your rental car or hotel. And most hotels now make you prepay too. Mm-hmm. So what I suggest is go to any of the travel apps or websites, Travelocity, Expedia, anyone that's your favorite. And first of all, just do a cost comparison. Just put in when you want to go and don't worry about anything. Just see how much an average trip there will cost. Then you start planning it and you look for deals. And a lot of activities, they make you prepay and book in advance. It's tough to get a last minute or just walk up somewhere or another and get a minutes ticket. So it takes a little bit more effort these days.
All right, amazing. So here we go on to the second segment.
Okay, Royals, I am back. Jasmine interview with me kind of leads into what we're talking about, tips for travel and that sort of thing. So it worked out well. I got a cough drop, so I don't be coughing too much. Now maybe I can get through this. You never know. Um, Let me go ahead and give you some tips. If you haven't flown to Europe or overseas, just expect when you get off the plane that you're going to deplane on the runway. And what that means is you're not going to be at a gate where you just walk out. You're going to have to carry everything with you, your carry-on, your purse, whatever, laptop, down the stairs. About 2 flights of stairs down to the ground level. Then they're going to put you on a bus to take you over to customs, where you'll go through customs and security before getting your luggage and going on your way. Another tip here is a pre-arrange your travel transportation. Go ahead and prepay or arrange your taxis, whatever, because they're hard to come by for number one. But it's so nice when you get your luggage and you turn around, there's someone with a sign that's got your name on it, and you got a photo of that driver. You know who it is that's going to take you where you're going. To me, that gives me peace of mind. Just a little travel tip there. I also always take an empty water bottle with you and fill it full of water at the airport, because on the planes you get really hydrated, especially if you're going to be there 10 hours. It's less humidity up there in the friendly skies. So drink lots of water. If you're not a fan of water, learn to drink it, because you'll need it to keep your skin looking good, to keep you feeling well, that sort of thing. Now back to my trips. As you can see here, I'm showing the hop on, hop off bus, which I loved. To me, it was fabulous. The first day, we just took the hour-and-a-half tour right around the city to see what all we were going to be able to see. And then that evening, we could plan to know the next day what stops we wanted to get off, what was near those stops. Because again, I hadn't had a chance to plan for this particular trip like I normally do. Normally, I have it planned out. I know the hours of operation. I know what to see when, how the itinerary flows. I'm just really good at planning, especially for a trip, because I don't want to waste my time and I want to maximize what I get to see. And since I'm on vacay, I do want to rest some. I do want to read. I want to journal. I want to enjoy that nice balcony that I have. So that's the come I know, try to pack everything into the day in different time frames so I can enjoy those leisure things of relaxation that I like. And this is the main bus stop where you can take the hop on, hop off. And the Metropolis is right down the street. Hey, the only McDonald's I saw, there may have more than one, but I saw one McDonald's there. Yes, I did get a fountain drink. Had to have my fountain Coke. So hey, McDonald's was my place to go. And there was nice little shops all along the stretch. And let me show you. Of course, if it's got love on it. Let me see here. The love, I had to get some love socks with love grease with a heart. So I bought some little trinkets. Oh, and the little, I call it the all-seeing eye. You'll see those all over Greece. Let me put it on this so you can see it. There you go. And these are the little trinkets that I bought for my friends. So my friends got nice little presents. So I looked after my friends. I got them nice little goodies. Oh, and getting back to the business class flight, this little care package came with my seat. Got some socks, a little tiny pen, some earplugs, some lotion, a toothbrush. It also came with a night cover to cover my eyes, which it's somewhere because I used it. But nice little courtesy bag that they give you to hold all your little essentials that you may need. And traveling abroad, I highly recommend a power adapter. And as you can tell, mine has 4 USB, 2 power outlets. Even if the hotel may have one, or wherever you're staying, they may only have one. If you're like me, I have an iPhone, an iPad, and I watch. So you need more than one plug-in. So that's come to have this. It works great. Multiple chargers. And while you're over in Greece, dress accordingly. Black is acceptable all year round. People wear it regularly, and they don't wear those dresses like I bought. I did buy one of those let me see, Greek goddess dresses. But I want it for Halloween so I can dress up for here and look really cool. But, hey, that's just me. And this is the Plaka Street where you can walk down and see the beautiful neighborhood. Another photo I took of the metropolis. And this is Rhodes, Greece. Rhodes, Greece was my favorite island. Again, it's real royal. It's got the walled village, the palace. It's all royal. And you can tell, yep, this is my kind of place. And too, it was real shady in there. There was trees. It was very friendly. Oh, it was just nice. Another view. And this is Santorini. And as you can see, the zigzag walk up, because that is a very steep cliff. I took the, chairlift down. Yes. Was not about to walk with the donkeys. Even though I got some pictures of the donkeys, I'll show those later. And this is the view of Santorini. The beautiful whitewashed buildings. And they whitewash them, they keep out the insects too, which makes them pretty, but also it kills insects. And there's a famous Blue Dome Church. And more of Santorini. And these are my royal tips. But royals, I'm not feeling that great tonight, so I'm going to have to postpone more of my Greece, and I'll review all this, recap it next week for you. I'm going to show you another interview of me talking about international travel and some things to be on the lookout for. So again, thank you for watching. Sorry I'm not up to par. I really thought that I could hang through this tonight, but I'm just not feeling up to it. Sending you some love.
And I'm your host, Duchess DJ Love. Thank you for joining tonight. I have a special royal episode for you tonight. Just to give you some background on my story, Gallivanting Like a Royal is my platform to share love while I explore the world. I'm a frequent traveler, as you've already found out. I'm a freelance travel blogger. I'm a published author. We got Travel To. This one's at Amazon. A slightly different cover at Barnes & Noble. And the reason being is I self-published these all by myself. And it was a learning process on how to do Barnes & Nobles and Amazon. Just a little tricky with the covers, but hey, it's the same book. It's in color. You got quotes, photos that I took on my journeys. You got travel tips, not only for travel, but to make your life a little bit better as well. And I call it a 30-day trip tips gratitude devotion, because when you read the tips or get an inspiring quote, there's places for reflection. So something you can think about and you can use it that way. Now, these two have what I call a sister companion. It's the Travel To journal. It's hardback, and you got plenty of line spaces and some information about me to take on your travels and record your travels while you're, out seeing the world, or just have something to put your notes down into. So, my royal viewers, I also am working on a book called Money Matters, because your money does matter. And it's not so much about to bring you happiness, saying that money can't buy happiness, but money can buy a lot of things. And I've found with the people that I know that have money, they're generous. They're very giving. So when you give, you can't help but be happy. That's like, there's a saying that says, it's better to give than to receive, because giving truly brings happiness to you. At least it does for me.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to today's show. I am so thrilled and I am so excited to welcome today's special guest, Duchess DJ Love, who is an amazing woman. And I'm so grateful to connect with her and to consider her a friend now in this next phase of life. Anyway, she is wonderful. DJ is the founder and CEO of Gallivanting Like a Royal, as her name shows. So without further ado, I am going to let you introduce yourself, if you don't mind, DJ, and give us some background on what brings you to this point and give some insight to our audience about your attitude and your amazing way of looking at life.
Thank you, Christina, for that warm welcome. And hi, Royals. Whether you know it or not, you are a Royal too. I'm just an average girl, just like everyone else in this world, but God placed a dream in my heart to travel. As a little girl, that dream was placed in my heart, that the world was a lot bigger than what I knew. I grew up very poor. I'm not poor anymore, folks. Neither will you be. If you follow my journey, I will give you tips to make your life better. But traveling is my passion. It always has been. And so I have found ways to travel and see our beautiful world on a budget where you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. Because remember, I grew up with not much money. So I had to find ways to travel. And that's what I want to bring to the world. I have a show, Gallivanting Like a Royal, where we discuss travel inspiration and how to live a royal lifestyle.
Okay, and you will see the link below and take note of that link and connect with DJ on her show and follow her show. It's amazing. And as you can see, she's got a great attitude. Now let's talk about how this became a passion of yours, DJ. How did you get involved with travel in the first place?
Again, as a child, I always wanted to travel. So, as you grow up and mature and, we start out in my local area. And then I started, saving money and going on different places. Over the years, my friends that travel with me, me taking my show live into the world, you can actually thank my friends, because they're like, every time we travel with you, something magical truly happens. We call it magical encounters. And so everyone wants to travel with me because they know they're going to have a great, trip, because I plan great vacays. But they know something out of the ordinary that's really going to change their world, so to speak. And so people want to go with me. So they're like, okay, you need to share the stories. I'm like, okay, well, I can do a blog. I said, when I retire one day down the road, that's what I can do. Because, you got to have a purpose in life. I was like, okay, once I retire, I can do a blog. Granted, I didn't know how to do a blog, but I'm like, surely I can figure that out. And since I've saved up money, I've prepared and planned to do this one day, I had it worked out. I was financially ready. I had, been writing for 10 years on taking notes of my travels, saved up photos and mementos. So I was ready. Again, when I retired, you can look at me. I'm not quite ready to retire just yet. I'm still youthful. But last March, on actually St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, I got a download from God that said, you need to start your blog now. I rarely have what I call hectic, stressful work days, but this was one of those days when nothing was going right. And it was 4 p.m. when I got the download. I had 1 hour to complete a project that was super important and time sensitive that only I could do. So I just told that thought in my head, bye, go, later. Okay. I got the project done. Yay, on time. But I had a business meeting, dinner, right after that, because it's like, you don't have much time. So at dinner around 6 o'clock, our food has arrived and the speaker is talking. That download hit me again. I'm trying to pay attention to the speaker. It says, you need to start your blog now. And I'm like, I'm in the middle of dinner. I don't have anything to work with. I'm like, forget you. I get home. It's about 9:30. If you know, St. Patrick's Day was on a Thursday night. I was exhausted. I'm like, I'm going to bed early, which is something I rarely do, but I'm like, I'm going to bed early. I'm starting this weekend off well rested and on a good note after my stressful day. I'm decompressing. That download hit me again. And it said, if you don't do it now, you never will. Okay. The never will part just spun in my head. It's like it went over and over and over and over and over. Never will, never will, never will. I'm like, So it's like 10 o'clock by now. I'm like, okay, I don't know how to post a blog. I don't even know if I can post a blog. And I'm thinking real fast, do you know anybody? Do you know anybody that's ever posted a blog? Do you know anybody that knows anything about blogs? Now I'm panicking here at this point because this was something I really wanted to do and I'd prepared for. But when something tells me I never will if I don't do it, I'm getting kind of anxious and nervous. So finally, I think of one friend that I knew I thought posted a blog. So I text her and she goes to bed early too. So I'm like, please, Lord, don't let her be mad with me because she's on my only contact. I said, how do I post a blog? Help. She sent me back travelblog.org. And so that was all she sent. So I knew she was ticked off. I must have woke her up. So I didn't want to bother her no more. So I go on the website, travelblog.org. And it's a lot of work. You have to create a profile. You have to fill out all kind of information. And then by this time it was getting 10:30, close to 11, 10:45. I don't have anything prepared to write. And again, since I'm not technically prepared for this challenge, I did not know once I type something and hit the publish button that you cannot go back and edit. I'm under the impression you can always go back and edit. So my first blog, folks, is not that great. And what my thing was, I didn't edit it. I was just posting it and putting the pictures. That was my thing. I want to see how the photos lined with the paragraphs. That's how come I hit the publish button. That was the only way I could tell. Okay, I made it before midnight. I said, thank you, I'm going to sleep. I didn't think anything about it till the next morning. My phone started going off. You know how you get these notifications?
Yeah.
People were reading my blog. Don't get me wrong. I'm grateful to people. That's how come you post it. But I wasn't expecting it that fast. Nobody knows me, but they were reading it and they want to know how to get in touch with me. Are you on social media? Can I hear more of your stories? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, up until this point, I'm a very private individual and have never done social media, anything like that up until that point. I had to go create social media accounts last year. Facebook and Instagram, how I got started. Then I go to an event, I meet someone who has their own TV show. They bring me on. Of course, they had to ask me several times because I'm an introvert. But I did it. And once I did that, it led on to more. I was invited to speak at a conference. Well, if you speak at a conference, you need something tangible to show. Well, I have years of traveling and experience, so Traveltude was brought to life.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, and then later on,
share
folks
the tagline, if you would. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but share the tagline of Traveltude to our audience, if you would, please.
Okay, it's a 30-day trip tips gratitude devotional. And what I mean by that is you get a trip tip, you get a color photo, you get an inspirational quote, and you have reflection space. I give you something to think about with the photos as I took on my journey.
Okay. So let's get back to your story. And so then where from here? You were the speaker, you had something to show, you have Traveltude. So where did you go from there?
Well, like I say, once people started reading my book and checking it out and the tips they like, they want to know more. They want to know more of me. So it's like, okay, my goal was to do a 30-minute like YouTube video with me showing my photos and telling about the destinations. That was my plan. So that's how I got started. Well, from above came and said, no, we got something different for you to do. So I haven't done it my way yet. So what I do though, I went ahead and created the show. I have guests to come on the show. I feel like I've been blessed to give back, and that's kind of what the download said. Right. You are blessed in life. Share your knowledge with other people, because God wants everybody to live a royal life, and that's what we're created for. If we're poor and downtrodden, we can't help anybody. So that's the thing. We're supposed to help each other, and and help people grow. So that's what my show is about: how to live a royal lifestyle and share some travel and inspiration. And that's what I've been doing since January.
Well, it is incredible. And I thank you so much for sharing your evolution here. And there are several takeaways from that. First of all, you've got to be flexible. You clearly show that you are flexible along the way and you're willing to take new paths to figure things out. And inherent in all that is the ability to act. You don't just hear things, even though it may not be what you're thinking or what you have planned. You make things work. You act to make things work, and it does work out for you. This is great because you have this can-do attitude. You figure out how to make things happen, as you go forward. That is so wonderful. So given that in mind, let's talk about a couple of tips that you have. What are some of the travel necessities you would suggest to our audience that they carry with them as they both as they prepare and as they travel?
Okay. With years of travel experience, I can give some tips there with what I call the basic necessities that everyone needs to have. First of all, you always pack light. If you stand in a hotel, check to see if they have laundry on site where you can go downstairs and wash the clothes and dry them and come back up. That way you don't have to take as much, especially if you take a week or 2 week trips. You do not, especially to Europe, you do not want to be lugging big suitcases around. I'm telling you, they over there, they space savers. So yeah, number one tip, don't take much. But then you ask me, well, I got to take this, I got to take that. Travel space bags. I love travel space bags.
Yeah.
That's my number one thing. You got to have space bags. And I don't like the ones where you have to vacuum, because you can always have a vacuum or a plug in for that. So I get the ones where you just zip up and you sit on them and you just roll them up, your clothes. And I have one for each day of the week. So whatever I'm going to wear, my outfits, they're in an individual bag. And you may think about it. My 10 little bags don't take up much room once you compress them and take all that air out.
That is a great strategy. And then you're saving time on your trip too, because you know, okay, I have this ready, and you've planned ahead. So you know, okay, I am going hiking this day. My outfit is in the bag and it is ready to go. So when your alarm goes off, you get up, you throw on your clothes and you go for that hike and climb Kilimanjaro or whatever you're going to do for your particular travel.
Exactly, Christina. And you touched on something very important. When you wake up and jump out of bed, to me, that makes me think you're rushing. Again, when you go on vacay, you're going to relax, unwind, rejuvenate yourself. So what I say is a basic necessity is schedule 30 minutes in the morning for just you, 30 minutes in the afternoon. You are allowed that 1 hour a day just for you. So you make sure 30 minutes in the morning, you have time for you, whatever that takes. If you want to read, soak in the tub, go take a walk before everybody else gets doing things. Take 30 minutes for you and tell whoever's traveling with you, this is important to me. I have to have 30 minutes to myself in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening. Or if you, like me, I like an hour in the morning so I can read and write and, kind of get myself prepared for today. But that is important for your mental stability and to enjoy your vacation, especially if you're the person in charge of the whole family.
Yes. I think that is a wonderful, wonderful tip. And I think that it's something that I need to incorporate into my everyday life as well. So yes, that's a marvelous suggestion. Thank you. Now let's talk for a minute. You briefly touched on this earlier, but let's talk about budgeting. How do you help ordinary people? How do you budget? How do you make these things happen from a financial perspective?
That's a great question. I have another book coming out called Money Matters soon, where I teach people how to manage their money. As I call it, let's make my money work for me. Let's make your money work for you. And there's ways that you can do this. And my thing is loyalty. I fly American Airlines because they're out of DFW and they have a hub in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I have a second home. So I'm back and forth from CLT and DFW on a regular basis. So that's how come American is my airline carrier of choice, because of the convenience. However, over the years, I have found that their prices are relatively comparable to the other airlines, even the cheaper ones. You may have to purchase your ticket a little bit further in advance. I always say book a ticket 21 days in advance, at least. That way you get the best deal. Mm-hmm. But my travel tips is if you use loyalty like me, I use my American Airlines credit card. Yeah. I pay everything on that credit card. My utilities, my water bills, my insurance, anything I can put on a credit card, I put on there, because you earn points for that to travel free. And here's why I say that.
You have at the end of the month. Good.
Write one check, because you're going to write a check or pay your utility bills however anyway. Why not just, instead of paying multiple bills where you get confused, you might be late, pay one bill, have everything auto pay on that credit card and pay off that credit card each month.
I think that's a wonderful tip.
If you think about it, you probably spend at least $25,000 a year on basic necessities. Yeah. That's 25,000 points you're going to get to go towards a flight or a hotel or a rental car.
25,000 miles, points, whatever you want to call them, will usually get you one round trip free ticket. So that's one way you can fly free a year. Just on that. That's just your basic stuff.
I like that. Okay. So, I mean, you work the system. You have learned how to work the system. Some things have been an intensive learning experience, it sounds like, and some things you have learned over time and through experience. And one of the points here, I think, is to learn from our mistakes, correct?
Right.
Okay.
And just because they're a mistake, don't necessarily call it a mistake. Again, it's our mindset.
Good.
Say, this didn't go the way I want it to. This is a learning experience. I will not do this again.
Yes.
That way, because mistake makes us think it's negative, and I don't want us to ever think what we go through is negative. Because again, that messes with your mindset. We got to have a positive mindset.
Okay, and this is what I love. This is I told everyone at the beginning, you have the most wonderful attitude, and this is a perfect example of this. And these words of wisdom are so useful for everyone, myself included. Now, before we wrap things up, you said something at the beginning of this interview. You said you like to change the world when you travel. Could you please give us a story of something that happened during your travels where you actually saw this come to fruition?
Oh, this is something that I look forward to doing every time I travel. I look for someone that looks stressful, and I purposely go over and talk to them, try to make their day. I have friends now that I met on the plane that were connecting to different flights. Their flight got delayed. They had no clue what to do. And I'm just like, hey, this is what you do. This is how you do it. Here's the number you call. Those are just some of the simple things I do. But before we had iPhones and cell phones, we can take photos. When I traveled, I always looked for a family, and I would run over to them and my friends knew it. There she goes. I run over. Please let me take the picture for you guys. I take great photos. That way, the husband and mom, everybody's in the photo. You at least have one photo from your trip with everybody there. And the smiles and the gratitude that, it just brought tears to my eyes that I've done something good for someone else.
I agree. I completely agree. I look. It was a little tricky during COVID times to take pictures for others, but yes, that is one of the ways that I have gotten a quick rush of adrenaline for myself in helping others. So, I mean, it's a win-win situation for everyone. There are so many things that you can do, and you've pointed to some smaller things. And there are also organizations that you can connect with in service study abroad and so forth. There are just thousands of ways that you can help people. And of course, it is it helps you in the long run from what you have said. So bearing that in mind, let's tell our audience how they can get hold of your amazing book, Traveltude. And we do have your contact information on the screen, but let's go over that orally as well.
Okay. Traveltude is available on Amazon.com or at Barnes & Noble. You can catch my show, Gallivanting Like a Royal, Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube, Facebook, and it's streaming on the E360 TV platform. Before we go, though, I want to give you some sound travel tips.
Okay.
If you're going overseas, leave information with your family or someone that's staying behind, a color photo of your passport. Let someone know how to get into your home in case there's any emergency at home. You yourself, if you're traveling overseas, think of emergency. If you have to fly back, how are you going to do it? Take the airlines phone numbers with you, international numbers to call. Find out where your local embassy is. Check out before you go the areas that you're going to be in to make sure they're safe, or at least know where your nearest police, hospital, those kind of things. You don't think about those, but emergencies happen, and these are important things to do. And always pack snacks. Take an empty water bottle so you don't have to buy water in the airport. You need snacks because I'm telling you, folks, I travel regularly. Since COVID happened, the airlines are shaky. They used to be reliable, but now they're not. There's delays, there's cancellations for any reason. So I would say if you got to be somewhere, book your airfare 2 days before, especially if you take an international cruise. You need to do it 2 days ahead of time. And give you an example of why. I was flying to South Carolina on Monday. I spent all day at the airport. I have status. I'm flying first class. So I get priority over the rest of you guys.
Yes.
They cannot get me out that day. So if they cannot get me out that day, think of you. Think of you not having status and had to wait in those long customer service lines. So download the app. Make sure you have your app on your phone. That's the quickest way to get some sort of assistance. Those are just my timely, important tips that I hope you take to heart.
Absolutely golden. Those pieces of information that we all need to travel. And another little, I'm going to add a little bit to your travel tip. When you pack snacks and so forth, that gives you a little space in your suitcase to bring stuff home. So
exactly,
you still travel light, but you have whatever you want to bring home with you and space for it. So you're not paying extra for luggage or another bag or package or something like that. So this is all such wonderful information, and we have barely scratched the surface. So
oh yes,
I thank you so much, DJ, for everything today. You have been a tremendous guest, and I look forward to our continued relationship. And I know that our audience will be reaching out to you and going to your sites. And I thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Bye, Royals. Gallivantinglikearoyal.com. Check me out.
Hello, Royals. Duchess DJ Love here.
I just want to give another shout out to our sponsor before we close out. Do that now. And she's got a book coming out that's going to give you all kinds of great tips for travel, etc.
Hello, Royals. This is my book, Travel To by Duchess DJ Love, me, your host of Gallivanting Like a Royal. You can purchase this book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Please support my journey and go to my website at gallivantinglikearoyal.com for more blogs, more insights, and updates on my featured shows.